Good afternoon, everyone. In the last class, we have discussed about the history of development of repertory. Okay, किस तरह से repertory develop हुआ था? What is the first published repertory? Okay, and what is the name of the first repertory of Hahnemann which he was using? So ये सब हम लोग ने in the last फर्स्ट जो वीडियो हुआ था लास्ट वीडियो में वो हम लोग ने डिस्कस किया था. So let's start with the different types of repertory. ये भी एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. Very important for this MCQ, multiple choice questions, and also for your Viva and BHMS examinations. Okay, as a long note, long questions. So, different types of repertory. So basically, on the like this, different type of presentation or in the forms of the repertory, they are divided into the three types है. एक है in the book form, okay, जैसे कि कैन repertory का book form हो गया, बुकर बोनिंगसन repertory का book form, और okay, so this is basically Robin Murphy का. So these are the book form. एक हो गया book form, दूसरा हो गया like mechanically aided repertories, okay, for or you can say that computer repertories, okay. And the third one is your card type. So different types of presentation or the form of a repertory. If the question asks, tell me the basically a repertory may be presented in which form. So there are the three forms. One is book form, one is card form, and the another one is mechanical aided or the computer repertory, auto-visual repertory. Okay. Now the book repertory is again divided into the two types. Okay. First, on the basis of the maintenance of the purity of the symptoms. What does this means? जिस तरह से पेशेंट बोल रहा है उसी तरह ही रेपर्टरी में लिखा हुआ होगा. ठीक है. सो अगर आप रेपर्टरी दैट इज फॉर एग्जांपल एनालिटिकल रेपर्टरी ऑफ द सिम्टम्स ऑफ द माइंड, sensation as if the concordance repertory of the Metria Medica. Okay, so these are the example of the Puritan repertory. Puritan repertory में क्या होता है? That is they maintain the purity of the symptoms. आपने एक ड्रग दिया प्रूविंग के लिए, suppose you have given aconite to a person for proving, okay, and after taking the aconite he feels some sensation as if something is in the throat, for example, or you can give ignatia, sensation of something is stuck in the throat. There are frequent like deep sighing respirations है. So वहां से जो symptoms जो लिखे होंगे ना, it is defined as the same word in which the prover is saying. ठीक है. तो इसलिए इसको बोलते हैं पुरितान रेपर्टरी. ओके. So these are the example sensation as if you should know the name of the repertory and the name of the author also. ठीक है, because ये सब MCQ पे पूछा पूछा जा सकता है. Or they can ask you the Viva also. They can ask you, tell me the full like some example of the Puritan repertory. Then you have to write the full name. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ analytical repertory आपने लिख दिया, आपको full name लिखना पड़ेगा. Analytical repertory of the symptoms of the mind by Kelvin Hearing. ठीक है. So इस तरह से. So now in the this one is Puritan and other one is a logico-utilitarian group. इसमें इस रेपर्टरीज में जो सिम्टम्स अरेंज्ड होते हैं, जैसे कि पेशेंट या तो प्रूवर बोल रहा है उस हिसाब से अरेंज नहीं होते हैं, बल्कि कुछ फिलोसॉफिकल बैकग्राउंड होता है इसको अरेंज्ड होने का. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर कोई पेशेंट बोलते हैं कि मुझे हेड बहुत पेन है और इस तरह से पेन हो रहा है जैसे कि कोई हैमर लाइक कोई मेरे सर को इस तरह से कोई पीट रहा है, हैमरिंग टाइप ऑफ हेडेक. ठीक है. सो यहाँ पर सिम्टम्स अगर आप पुरितान होगा तो वो एज अ सेम सेंसेशन एज इफ हियरिंग समवन इज हैमरिंग इन द हेड. ठीक है. ये पुरितान में होगा. बट इफ इट इज इन द लॉजिकल logico utilitarian repertory, then suppose if you go with the Ken repertory according to their like philosophy, head, okay, then the pain, okay, the pain is now if it is in the temple, then head pain in the temple, okay, the location, and then they will give the hammering. Okay, so what is sensation? That is it, the sensation is a hammering. So इस तरह से उसने पूरा जिस तरह से प्रूवर बोलते हैं वैसे नहीं, बल्कि उन्होंने एक एक वर्ड को एक अरेंज करके उन्होंने लिखा है. दैट इज अरेंज विद सम फिलोसॉफिकल बैकग्राउंड. दिस इज योर लॉजिको यूटिलिटेरियन ग्रुप. नाउ इट इज दिस टाइप ऑफ द रेपर्टरी इज मोर यूजिंग. For example, Boning Hussein Therapeutic Pocket Book, Borik's repertory, C.M. Bogart's BBCR, and the concise repertory by C.R. Pathak. Okay, so these are the example of the logico-utilitarian repertory. So इस repertory का जितने सारे हैं ना, you have to know the full name of the book. ठीक है, to get more number. Now, again, the repertory divided into the two type. One is your general repertory. So general में क्या होगा? That is head to foot. Okay, that is from the mind symptom, then the head. Okay, then the ear. Like according to their arrangement, some are alphabetically arranged, some are arranged anatomically. Okay, head, eyes, vision, इस तरह से. ठीक है. So general repertory, when you get the all the symptoms in one repertory from head to the foot, it refers to the repertory which contains all the symptoms of the human, beginning from the head to the foot, and it is more useful rather than that of the original repertory. ठीक है. Now another one is your general repertory. There are again there are other two type. One is your clinical general repertory. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप क्लर्क के रेपर्टरी में जाते हैं, डॉक्टर जॉन हेनरी क्लर्क के रेपर्टरी में, इफ यू सी दीज आर सम क्लिनिकल रुब्रिक्स आर देयर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक ने अगर यही कैंट में होता, दे यूज दैट इज इन द चैप्टर नोज इरप्शंस. ओके, इस तरह से आपको देखने को मिला, एंड देन देयर इज एन एक ने में. बट हेयर अगर आप क्लिनिकल रेपर्टरी में जाओगे, दे आर यूजिंग सम क्लिनिकल कंडीशन, एक्रोमेगाली, एडिसन्स डिजीज है. ओके, I will teach you each and every repertory one by one in our next classes. जितना like if you see मैं जब वीडियो करती रहूंगी, I will cover most of this repertory part. Okay, so now these are is a clinical repertory. Example, Bodic repertory is also one of the example of the clinical repertory. अगर आप Bodic Medica के repertory chapter में आप जाओगे, कि वहां पर भी आप बहुत से clinical symptoms आपको मिलेगा. ठीक है, so that is your clinical repertory. Now other is a particular repertory, that is repertory according to their organs, according to the disease, according to their system. For example, in the organ, okay, that is respiratory, for example, repertory of a urinary organ. Okay, repertory of a urinary organ, or repertory of the tongue by Douglas. Okay, so these are the some example of the particular repertory. Repertory of the disease, for example, a repertory of the neuralgia. Okay, neuralgia, or the repertory of hemorrhoids. System, according to the system, that is repertory of respiratory system and the repertory of the digestive system. So general repertory and the particular repertory, general divided into two type. One is the general and other is in the clinical general. Okay, then the particular divided into the repertory according to the organ, according to the disease, according to the system, and then you have to write the name. Okay, so for example, these are the some of the repertory of hemorrhoids. So these are what? These are the example of some clinical repertory. Okay, these are the example of the clinical repertory. ये बहुत important है for not only for your viva, okay, for the BHMS viva, but also for your any type of the entrance examination. Okay, this is very important. They will ask you who is the author of the repertory of intermittent fever, or they will give you four options, and then an ABCD and another options of the name of their author. Okay, then you have to mismatch this. Okay, so this is very important. इसको आप याद रखो. You will get this thing in your own repertory book, whatever book you are following. Okay, so repertory of hemorrhoids by Guernsey, repertory of neuralgia by Lutz, repertory of intermittent fever by W.A. Allen, repertory of the fever, HCLN, repertory of rheumatism, Perkins. So these are very important. Okay, AIPGT बोल दीजिए, UPSC बोल दीजिए, पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, कोई भी एग्जाम्पल, लाइक कोई भी एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन होगा, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. रिपीटर में इसमें से एक क्वेश्चन आता ही है. ठीक है, so according to their repertory of the head, repertory of the eyes, repertory of the tongue, Douglas, repertory of the throat, W.J. Guernsey. ठीक है, So if you go in the chapter of Ashok Kumar Das, you will get most of the author of each and every book, sir. Okay, so this is very important. And according to the system, repertory of respiratory system, written by Wadenberg, repertory of the digestive system, Arkel, Mike Michel. Okay, in the case of regional leaders, Nash, repertory of the back by the Wilsey. Okay, so these are very important. Hmm. Now, repertory of the eyes, um, by the Bayrich, repertory of the modalities by the Bayrich, okay, repertory of the mind, repertory of the rheumatism by the Pulford. So these are very important. ठीक है, ये आपको याद रखना ही होगा. So according to repertory of the rheumatism by Perkins in the year of 1894, repertory of rheumatism by Pulford, okay, repertory of the eczema by the C.F. Milberg, therapeutics of respiratory system by Wadenberg. So I'm not doing anymore. So you just make a note of this, or you will get everything in your book. Okay. So this is all about your uh, repertory up to this है. Okay, in the next class let's see what we will do. और अगर आपको कुछ भी डाउट है, just type in the chat box what further you want to know. Okay, and just subscribe my channel so that repeated if you get the update. Okay, so remember this, the summary is regional repertory, clinical repertories developed between 1800 to 1900s. Okay, and this is all about your particular repertory. Okay, okay, so thank you everyone to let me know. और अगर आपको कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, कुछ भी अगर डाउट होते हैं, यू कैन राइट मी इन दी चैट बॉक्स है. ओके, सो थैंक यू एवरीवन.